This is about defending democracy. This is no longer Democrats versus Republicans. What do you want your kids to believe in? There must be give and take.
This is White Flag with Joe Walsh.
Yeah, let's be clear. My former political party is an authoritarian embracing cult. They have no interest right now in doing anything about the crisis at the border because they are an authoritarian embracing cult who wants this border issue to help get their dear cult leader elected. I acknowledge that. Republicans and the right demagogue what goes on at the border. I acknowledge that. I used to do that. Republicans are afraid to have a separate standalone vote on aid to Ukraine, so they've piled everything into this border issue, aid to Ukraine, aid to Taiwan, aid to Israel, everything, because they're afraid. Republicans are afraid to have standalone separate votes on all of these issues. I acknowledge that. But we have a crisis at the border. And we've had a crisis at the border these past 3 years, chiefly because of Joe Biden, because of what the Biden administration did. I went on CNN last night and had tried to have a discussion about this, and I said the things I just said right there, and I was on with a wonderful woman, but she's a Democratic consultant, man, and she just fired away. Nope, Biden's not to blame for anything. Biden's not to blame for anything. Excuse me. Let's be really clear about this. We're averaging about 10,000. In the Biden administration, we're averaging about 10,000 people coming across our border illegally every single day. 200 and, my gosh, over 300 some thousand in the month of December, this past December alone. Joe Biden is chiefly responsible for bringing us here. Let's be clear. Biden ran, before and after Biden first got elected in 2020, Biden encouraged migrants to come here. Biden ran for president telling Americans and telling the world that he would be the opposite of Donald Trump at the border. He ran saying he'd get rid of Trump's policies, trying to keep people out. They heard him. People from Guatemala and Colombia and El Salvador and Mexico heard them. Biden encouraged people to come. And by the way, and they do listen. By the way, when Trump ran for president in 2016, he said, I'm going to be a son of a bitch at the border. And that's how he ran. He said, I'm going to be a son of a bitch. I'm not going to let anybody in. I'm going to throw you in prison, whatever. So when Trump first got elected in 2016, there wasn't a line of people coming because they were afraid of what Trump was going to do. Remember, they listen. These good, decent migrants and people who just want a better life, they listen. So they didn't first come. But then after a couple of years, when they realized, a year or two, that Trump's bark was worse than his bite and Trump really wasn't changing American policy, they flooded here. They came here in droves, and we had a crisis at our border for about 2.5 years during the Trump administration because they realized he wasn't going to do what he said he was going to do. And then the last final year, 8-9 months of Trump's administration, he cracked down again. Biden encouraged them to come. Biden also got rid of the few Trump policies that were actually working to keep people out. Biden made it easier. Trump had made it tougher for people when they come to claim asylum, made that standard of claiming asylum tougher. Biden got rid of that to make it easier again. Biden got rid of the policy that Trump implemented, that if you come here claiming asylum, you have to go to a third country first. You have to go to another country in Central America or Mexico and claim asylum there first before you come to America and claim asylum. That worked. Biden got rid of that. Biden got rid of Trump's Remain in Mexico policy, where if you come to our border and you claim asylum, instead of coming here until your asylum claim is heard, you have to remain in Mexico. It worked. It kept people in Mexico. It kept people from coming in here. Biden got rid of that policy. Biden also, for 3 years, just didn't enforce generally the immigration laws on the books. Biden really, for 3 years, ignored this thing. Come on, be honest. Be straight, Democrats. What did he do? He appointed Kamala Harris early on in his administration to take care of it. This isn't on her. He threw this at her. He didn't do a damn thing about it. Biden didn't pay attention to it. Kamala Harris didn't either. The administration did not pay attention to this at all, and now it's an absolute crisis. As far as I'm concerned, a pox on both of their houses. I mean, Republicans believe, look, Republicans don't trust Biden to deal with this. I'm no longer a Republican. You know how I feel about Trump. I don't know how you can trust Joe Biden. Think about it like this. Biden hasn't been enforcing the current immigration laws on the books like he should. So why would you pass another immigration law and think Joe Biden is going to enforce it? This immigration law, the Senate bill that they've come up with, gives the president the authority to stop enforcing these supposed shut down the border at a certain number mechanisms. The president can stop having to follow them in what's called for the national interest. What does that mean? I get and understand why Republicans don't trust Joe Biden to deal with the border after he spent 3 years ignoring the problem and not enforcing the current laws on the books and getting rid of the actual changes to the laws that worked. I'm not excusing Republicans. Republicans purely don't want to do a damn thing now. This bill won't even get out of the Senate. Forget about the House, because they don't want to give Biden a victory. I get that. It's all political on their end. But Democrats, this issue is hurting you big time. The American people blame Biden. They don't blame Trump. The American people believe that Trump could handle the border better than Biden. This issue is hurting Biden and the Democrats because Biden and the Democrats have made it worse and have ignored the problem until now before an election. Be honest about that. A pox on both houses. I'm Joe Walsh. Thanks for listening. White Flag with Joe Walsh. Joe Walsh White Flag at gmail.com is my email. Joe Walsh White Flag, one word, at gmail.com. Make it a good week. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow White Flag with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been White Flag with Joe Walsh.